America's News Now, and one Democratic Texas congressman who's been urging the administration to see what's happening at the southern border has now sent a letter to Vice President Kamala Harris inviting her to his border town. Some lawmakers and residents at the Texas border say the crisis will turn to catastrophe if it continues at this pace. Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar joins us right now. Welcome back to the National Desk, Congressman. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, and good morning, Jan.
You have said that for the president and for the vice president, it's really not about a staged visit to the border. You want them spending time with the people there, with law enforcement, elected leaders, business owners, to better understand what's happening in your backyard. Tell us why experiencing this in person is so important to you.
You know, when you live there day to day, you see the dynamics of the border. It's a very dynamic part of the United States. It's a beautiful place to live, but at the same time, there are some challenges. And challenges are that first, you have border restrictions for non-essential. So folks from Mexico are not coming in, the ones that spend over $19 billion in the U.S. But then at the same time, people in my community see people coming in and are being released at bus stations or being released at NGOs or at the airports. Some of them are not vaccinated. So they see this contradiction of certain people that come in and shop and spend money in the U.S. Can't come in, but then you see non-documented people coming in. It's important for the vice president or the president to come visit the border just to hear. They don't have to hear from me, but just hear from my community so they can understand.
Well, let's talk about your districts. You represent the 28th Congressional District in Laredo, Texas, which is an area just south of San Antonio. It's a large area and stretches all the way to the border. Specifically, how has this surge affected your area?
You know, in my area, the southern part in the Rio Grande Valley, since October 1st of 2020, they have seen over 300,000 encounters, over 300,000 people that have just come in one sector. In the Laredo sector, it's a little different. You get mainly single male adults. So you see stash houses and people try to be smuggled in 18-wheelers. So we're seeing large numbers coming in. Now, I have to say, it is a humanitarian crisis, not a security crisis, because if you look at the latest FBI stats, you will see that Laredo or the Valley is safer than where I'm at right now, and that's Washington, D.C., and I'm talking about murder, rape, or assaults, crime in general.
Have you seen or heard from the White House? Have you gotten any kind of response since you have sent this letter and pleaded with them to come down there?
Not officially. You know, I talked to the White House. I've been talking to them for a long time, just explaining them that we want to make sure that they understand what's happening.
And what are they saying? What is the White House saying to you?
They're looking at it. They'll come, but nothing official. And again, all we want to do is we want to be helpful so we can address the issue at the border. You know, at the border, my communities, my mayors and the county judges, we all say one thing. We believe in legal migration. We're just against illegal migration.
And you also said you appreciated what the vice president said. She said, you said, I want to thank the vice president for having a clear message, don't come, but we need to couple that with some action and some repercussions. What repercussions, Congressman, should we have?
Well, I mean, the law says that if somebody can stay here under asylum, they stay. An immigration judge, if that judge has 100 persons before him or her, they will grant 12% of those asylum claims. 88% are going to be denied. So why are we letting 100% in when only 12% will be allowed in? The consequences is some people have to be returned. I'll ask you this question, Jan. Have you or your station ever reported of people being returned back? No, you only show people coming in. And I'm talking about just general, you know, what we see on the media.
Correct.
We only see people coming in. We never see people going back. You have to show consequences. Otherwise, they call the border a speed bump. You come to the border and, you know, you wait a little bit and then you keep going inside the U.S.
All right, Congressman Cuellar, we've run out of time right now, unfortunately, but always great to get your insights since you were right there. You're on the front lines, and this is your town that you've lived in for decades. We appreciate you joining us this morning on the National Desk. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.